It is a freaking business. This is not a sorority, it's a salon.
Diamonds on my neck. I like boarding jets, I like more than sex, but nothing in this world that I like more than checks. Money.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you have never seen me before, my name is Brittney Gray. I'm owner and stylist at Beach Vibes Beauty Studio. As I always say, if I'm not here, I'm on Instagram. And when I am on Instagram, I do a lot of Instagram lives. And then when I do those Instagram lives, you guys can ask me questions directly. From time to time, when you guys ask me questions, I'll go on an entire rant. On one of my more recent lives, somebody asked me something about how to ask their stylist something. And I was like, you know what? I should just make a video about it. And so that's what I'm gonna do today. I know I talk a lot about the inside scoop on being a stylist, but I also wanted to share with you guys some things from a client perspective. And the information that I'm going to give you guys today is based off of things that you guys have told me, and then also clients who come to me and then they will tell me about their last hairstylist and things that they didn't like. So I'm going to give you guys the top 10 client complaints. So let's get into it now. I want you guys to know that I'm not speaking from a high horse at all, because I'm definitely not a perfect person or a perfect hairstylist. So I wanted to start with something that I am freaking guilty of, and that is not being on time. I will admit it, okay? Look, if you book an appointment with me and you're the first client of the day, more than likely I'm gonna be 5 minutes late. Not being on time. Now that can mean like the stylist isn't there yet when you get there, or it could mean that you just spend a crazy amount of time at the salon for whatever reason, because your stylist decides to take a break in the middle of your service and just leaves you hanging there like in the shampoo bowl or with color on your hair or under the dryer. Girl, leave me a comment down below. Hit the like button if you have been left under the dryer for a long amount of time. I think this is a trick that a lot of stylists do. I don't do it, okay? But this is a trick that a lot of stylists do to buy time so that way they can take another client. If you are a hairstylist or an aspiring stylist, try to be on time. What I do is, yes, I will admit I'm freaking late a lot, okay, in the morning. I'm not a morning person. That's an excuse. I need to get better at it. I'll freaking own it. But I will give myself credit because I do let people know. I will send you a text or call you and let you know, hey, I'm 5 minutes away, I'll be there soon, or I'm parking right now, I'll be there soon. That's the least that you can do as a stylist. Just let people know. In relation to that, the next thing that I hear people complaining about with their stylists is poor time management and double booking. There are a lot of stylists out there who will double book their clients without any help, without any assistant or anything like that. So then what should have been a 1 hour service ends up being a 4 hour service, and ain't nobody got time for that. If you are so busy that you need to double book your clients, I would suggest investing in an assistant. So the next one. This is kind of something that actually shocked me, and I hear this a lot, and this is last minute cancellations on your clients. I have heard this so many times and it makes me cringe, because the only scenario in which I would cancel on a client is if, God forbid, I had an emergency or I was sick and I couldn't come into the salon. I know how it feels to take time out of your day and plan to go get your hair done, and then last minute they're like, oh, actually, can you come tomorrow? And a lot of times it'll be like they're driving to the salon and then their stylist will cancel on them. And it's not like a good reason. And then multiple times it's like, girl, you can't be canceling on people like that. The next way to lose clients is talking too much and or gossiping or complaining, particularly about other clients, and also just having inappropriate conversations in general, being unprofessional, talking too much. Girl, sometimes people come to the salon and you need to like be able to tell what kind of client you have. Like some people I can talk to through the whole service and I want to talk to them after the service too, okay? But some people, like, you can just tell when they're being short with you, they're giving you short answers, or they're just kind of quiet, or they close their eyes. that means that they just want you to do their hair and they don't want to freaking talk. Like, I have some clients like that. They come in, we do a little consultation, you know, we do the little like small talk, how have you been, whatever, blah, 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 close their eyes, and then I just do their hair, whatever, boom, done. Not everybody likes to talk all the time, and not everybody wants to hear about your life and your problems, because at the end of the day, this whole industry, like the whole experience of going to the salon, is about the client. It's not about you. You are there to do a job and perform a service, and of course you want to be friendly and personable, but like, don't burden your client with like all of your life drama. I've worked with certain people who like, they just come into the salon and they're just all huffing and puffing and like complaining to their client about how they got in a fight with their boyfriend, and it's like, you're there to listen to their problems and do their hair. They're not there for you to put your drama on them. And also, a lot of people go because it's like their me time. They might have kids or just whatever the case may be. Don't burden people with your issues, okay? Go to a therapist, talk to a friend, go somewhere else. Don't burden your clients with your problems. Also, complaining about other clients. I have freaking seen this where somebody will talk about like, oh yeah, this client comes in and like, she doesn't tip me. They'll be talking to another client about another client. How do you think that they feel and what they think about you? And then also having unprofessional conversations. You don't know who is like in your salon sitting next to you or who is in your chair. You don't know them like that, okay? So don't make the assumption, especially right now with everything happening in the world and like current events and things like that. Like, of course, when people come into the salon to see me, of course they're gonna talk about like whatever current events are going on. For me personally, I try to stay as neutral as possible. People are different, and you guys are gonna have different beliefs in on different topics. The salon is not like a sorority house. Like, you're not there to be friends and make friends. You're there to run a business and to make money. My clients have like cried in my chair. I've been with them through like divorces, marriage, births, deaths, like everything you could ever imagine, and like they're there to do that, and like that's a place for them to vent and whatever. But as a stylist, always remain neutral. Just be mindful of the conversations that you are having. The next thing that people complain about all the time is not getting a consultation. I know that most people do a consultation, but a lot of people don't. I have been in scenarios where I went to go get my hair done, and this was like back in the day, like before I ever went to school or anything like that. So I would just be like, oh, I want highlights. And then they would just like start right away. And it's like, they didn't walk me through the process. They didn't explain anything to me. And like, a consultation is your time to communicate with your client, so that way you guys know exactly what the goal is, how you're going to get there, etc., etc. And also to give them time to ask you any questions that they might have, because they don't know, for the most part, they don't know anything about hair. So that's your time to clarify everything for them. And sometimes you need to work on your consultations, because when I first started off as a stylist, I just remember one scenario in particular where this girl showed me a picture of hair, and I was like, oh yeah, we can do that or whatever. I did it, whatever, blah blah blah. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that color, that color is rose gold. But in her head, she didn't see it as rose gold. She just thought it was blonde. So then I ended up making the freaking girl's hair rose gold, and she just wanted to be blonde because she didn't see that the hair color was rose gold. That's another story for another time. Make sure you are thorough in your consultation. Next, speaking of consultations, a huge complaint that I hear is stylists who do not listen to your requests. I have had people come to me, they had their loyal stylist that they were going to for several years, and they'll tell me like, yeah, I went to this lady or this guy for the past 5 years, but I always wanted to try something different. I wanted to try highlights or something, but then they would never do it for me. They would never give me highlights. They always wanted me to be a brunette, or they always wanted me to be a blonde. Anytime I said, I want to change my hair color, I want to change my haircut, they refused to do it. Not for good reason, because like Obviously, there are some times when you should refuse a service if the client's hair integrity is in danger, of course. In these scenarios, the stylist had a vision for that client, and the client wanted to try something different, and the stylist wanted to stick with their vision. So that's a huge thing. At the end of the day, if your client's hair is not being compromised, then just do whatever it is that they want. During my consultations, I let clients know, like I ask them what their goal is, and then I talk about what I would do personally, but I let them know at the end of the day, I'm gonna do whatever it is that you want to do, but this is what I think would look best on you. So that's kind of the angle that I come from. Have open communication. If you know that a haircut will not look good on them, let them know. Use tact, of course. Don't say something like, oh, well, you shouldn't do this haircut because your double chin is huge. Like there are certain ways to say something in a professional manner. If your client wants to do something, if she wants to change her hair, allow her to do that, because you will have a lifelong loyal client. So the 7th reason why a client will leave you is inattentiveness. This is more so about customer service. Inattentiveness to certain sensitivities. If you have a client who has a very delicate scalp, every so often we'll get those clients where, like, if you just touch their hair, it hurts. If you brush their hair, it hurts. I'm one of those people. I hate when people wash my hair. I hate when people brush my hair. Like, it is painful. And I know that a lot of people don't take that seriously. I've been in scenarios where somebody will be washing my hair and, like, I'll tell them to, like, lighten their touch, but like they'll just keep going in and going in because like they just think it's cute, it's funny, like, oh, ha, 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 your scalp is sensitive. And it's like, no, keep the line of communication open and say, let me know if I'm pulling your hair, because I've also been in scenarios where I'm getting my hair washed or brushed or something and it hurts, but I'm like too shy to say something because I'm just one of those people. I always feel bad and I don't like inconveniencing people, so like I'll just sit there and take it. Keep the line of communication open and say like, oh, let me know if I'm pulling your hair too hard, if I'm brushing your hair, if I'm washing your hair too hard. Let me know if the water is too hot, too cold. Also attentiveness in terms of if you serve beverages in your salon and your client's beverage is empty, pay attention to those kinds of things. You know, things like that. Like make sure that your client's experience is happy and comfortable. When I was an assistant, I swear the stylist clients freaking loved me, and I would make so much money in tips just because I was so extra attentive to their needs. I would make sure I remembered their name, make sure that they had a coffee or a drink or whatever it is that they need. Make sure if they have glasses that they had like the little covers on the ends of the glasses. Like just little things like that make your client's experience better, lets them know that you care, and it makes them want to come back to you. So next reason why clients get annoyed is when a stylist takes you leaving personally. Some stylists, if a client leaves, they'll like contact you, like they'll call you or email you or text you like, hey, haven't seen you in a while. I'm wondering like if you're gonna come in, or like it's been a couple weeks, like you should need your roots done by now. And that puts a client in an awkward position, because I came up with this in my mind, right? I dwindled it down to 3 reasons why a client is not returning. 1, they didn't like your work. 2, they are not getting that service done, haircut, colored, they're just not like doing it. Or 3, they can't afford you. And that's the bottom line. And also there could be little reasons like they moved away or something like that, but we're not talking about that. If a client does not like your freaking work, okay, it is what it is. Like not every stylist is for everybody. Just like, you know, I believe that there's like a person out there for everybody or people, depending on what you're into. But on a serious note, there's a type of stylist and a type of clientele for everybody. There are gonna be times when somebody does not like your work, and that's okay. Somebody is gonna think that your work is horrible. Trust me, it will happen. It happens to everybody. Even the best stylist in the whole entire world has somebody who hated their hair. Either that, they didn't like your work. Again, they're not getting that service done. I have some clients who come in like every 6 months to every year, something like that. Like I hardly ever see them, and that's okay. Like they're not the type of client who is gonna come in every 4 to 6 weeks. Another reason is because they cannot afford afford you. And that is also okay, because at the end of the day, like I said, there is a stylist and a client out there for everybody. There is the $10 haircut clientele and a $10 haircut stylist. There is the $100 haircut clientele and the $100 stylist. There's the $500 haircut clientele, and so on and so forth. You get the picture. So those are the only reasons why a client would leave you. And also, when they do leave you, I know that it kind of like, I mean, as a human being and as a stylist, as a professional, you should reflect and say, what could I do better with whatever it is that I did that made them unhappy? If you need to improve on your work, like, it is good to question certain things, and that's okay, that's healthy, but don't contact them, because then you're gonna put them in a freaking awkward position. Because like, if somebody can't afford it, you're gonna say, oh, you haven't been in a couple weeks, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm broke. Like, that's just, I don't know, that's crossing a line. And then also, stylists who get their feelings hurt, this is a business, okay? Keep your feelings out of it, all right? Oh, yeah, this person has been coming to me like for the past 5 years, and I follow them on Instagram, and then I realized that they just got their highlights done and I didn't do it, so I know that they went to somebody else. And it's like, and they get all butthurt and they're all sad about it, and they text him like, hey, I wish you would, like, girl, it is a freaking business. This is not a sorority. It's a salon, okay? It's a business. Don't be contacting people because you notice that they got their hair done by somebody else. Let it go. It's okay. Maybe they like their work more, or maybe their work is cheaper, so they went to somebody else. That's okay. Like, let it go, girl. Let it go. Next reason why a client will leave you is sloppy work. I'm not talking about your skill level, because there are different stylists with different skill levels. There's a place for everybody in this world. There's a student level, and then there's like a Guy Tang, a Vidal Sassoon, all right? There are people up here, there are people down here, there are people like in between, and you'll find somebody for you. I guess if I could make an analogy, like in the sports world, like not everybody is meant to be like a LeBron James. Not everybody is meant to be like a Michael Jordan, right? Everybody else on the team is necessary, but not everybody's gonna be like the GOAT. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. What I mean by sloppy work, if you get a blowout and you could feel that your hair's still wet, if you get your hair shampooed and you could still feel like color in your hair after you got your hair color rinsed, people who don't cross-check their haircut, and then you go home and you realize this side is like this long and this side's like this long. That's what I mean by sloppy work. Every stylist should have a clause or something in their policy that says that if you need to come in for an adjustment to haircut or color, whatever it is that you did, then come in within this date range, like within 5 days, within 7 days, whatever. Because mistakes happen, we're human beings. Like sometimes you're gonna miss a spot with color. Sometimes like you're gonna miss a piece of hair, and you're gonna need to get it evened out or something like that. It's gonna happen. It's okay, that's normal. But when it becomes a consistent thing, it's like you need to stop being effing lazy. And if you don't know the basics of doing hair, if you don't cross-check your work, if you don't know how to shampoo a client properly, if you don't know how to rinse hair color properly, then you need to go back to the basics, to the fundamentals, and learn how to do that. And you need to not get mad and annoyed and upset when somebody tells you, hey, I noticed last time I got my roots touched up, you left all this fucking color around my neck. You know how many clients I have gained from people who just simply based off the fact that they would go to stylists and their hair was never clean when they left. I have gained so many clients, regular loyal clients, just based off of how somebody doesn't know how to wash their hair. Simple things like that will make a client leave, but a lot of times some people are just freaking lazy, okay? Like they're lazy with their shampoo, they're lazy with their blow dry, they just want to get it over with. Either they don't like being a hairstylist, they're just freaking lazy, or they want to move on to the next client. You know, they just like rush and they're just sloppy. Just make sure that you're doing a good job every single time your client leaves your chair. The last reason, but this is probably the number one reason, I should have been counting backwards, but I didn't for some reason. The number one reason why a client will leave is because you change your prices without giving notice, or because you charge them different things at different times without any explanation for the same exact service. The reason why I didn't want to say a client will leave you because of your prices, because at the end of the day, clients, listen up. If If you can't afford a stylist service, then you need to move on to the next person, and it is what it is. I don't feel like it's fair for a client to say, oh, well, hairstylists charge too much, you charge too much. There's a million hairstylists in the freaking world. There's a lot of cosmetologists out there. Find the one for you. With that said, if you do, for whatever reason, raise your prices or change your prices, you need to let your clients know before you charge it. And this is the perfect way to do it. You go in for a blowout, and your blowout is usually $30, right? And the next time you go into the same salon, they raise their prices to $50. As a stylist, this is how you handle this situation, or as a salon manager, whatever. You tell the client, just so you know, we raised our blowout prices to $50. This time we'll honor our old price at $30, but just so you know, next time you come in, it'll be $50. Then you get that business, you get them to pay that $30 and go on. And as a courtesy, you let them know that next time it'll be $50 instead of charging them the $50 then and there. That's the best thing to do, because then at least you're giving that client notice. And also, if they really like your work, they'll probably come back for that $50 blowout anyway, versus if you just popped it up on them and then they're annoyed, and then, you know what I'm saying? When I get my nails done, which I need to, I get the same exact thing. Either I get a gel manicure or I get acrylics, and it should always be the same price, because I don't get any designs, I don't get anything. Like, I'm basic. But there have been times, girl, I used to go get my nails done somewhere, and like every time that I would go in, and I would get the same exact thing over and over. I would just get a fill and gel, like, and no design, like nothing. It'd just be like regular basic ass gel polish, same shape, same length, all that over and over. But there'd be times where it'd be like, oh, this is $50, and this is $75, this is $80, this is, and like I feel like every single time it was like a different number. I was just like, you know what, I'm just not gonna go there anymore. Every time I went in, there was a different price, and it would just be like random. And it wasn't like, oh, I went in a year later, then it's understandable, like, okay, they probably raised their prices in the last year. It would be like 2 weeks. So that is a complaint that I hear from clients all the time, is that they raise their prices with no notification at all, or they charge different prices all the time for the same exact service, and they don't understand why. Hair color can be complex. Like, sometimes you need to do like an extra thing, like an extra gloss. Depending on how you model your business, clients know what they're gonna pay with me, like before they come in, especially with things like a haircut and a blowout. But with highlights, it gets complicated. During your consultation, you need to let them know, like, this is our plan, but I might have to do an extra gloss, I might have to do this depending on how this lifts or that lifts. And you need to give them like a general ballpark range. Like, if we end up doing a half highlight or something like that, or if we end up doing a full, it'll be X amount of money or X amount of money. It just depends. I need to see how your hair lifts. Like, let them know that, so then they're not like shocked with the price afterwards. I feel like a lot of stylists out there now, they will say, oh, this service can be anywhere between, I don't know, let's just say any number. Like, this service can be anywhere between $100 and $500. And it's like, okay, so like, what would make it $100 and what would make it $500? Like, you need to let them know then and there, so that way they know if they want to make that investment or if they can make that investment. So that's what I have to say about the whole pricing thing, and like why a client will leave you or complain and go to somebody else. That is it for this video. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you agree with any of these points, if you can relate, and also let me know if I missed anything, because I was really thinking, and I really try to think about all the things that clients have told me about stylists, or clients have told me about me. If I'm not here, I'm on Instagram, so follow me there at Brittney Gray. And that is it for this video. I will see you guys in the comments down below. So stay tuned for my next video, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.